In this video, I will show you how to create the shaders into Blender with the texture sets that we did export from Substance Painter. Now, what we will do to do that, we will go into the shading interface over there. So the shading interface is not really a rendered, it's let's say half rendered view here. It's the look dev, and it uses it's a material preview, just it's quicker than the full render if you use cycles, for example. But I will show you how to do a full render after, but for now we just work on the shaders. So I would like to show you how to do it manually to make you understand how it works a little, and then after I will show you how to manage it with a quicker way with a fantastic add-on Node Wrangler. So first of all, let's go into our add-ons, and we'll go into preferences and we will search for Node, and you will find Node Wrangler. If it's not activated here, I really recommend you to use this always, because it's really time saver and it helps a lot to create your materials after. Then you will select, for example, one object that has here the material paint already, and we would like to create this material paint with the texture sets that we did export. So to add a texture, an image texture in Blender, there are two ways. You just can do Shift A and you just go there into image, and you will add here into input here, and you will add a texture over there. Where is it? Image texture, okay, and then after you open it like that. It's a way to do it. Honestly, I found this a little, it's not really user friendly, so let's go there into our texture sets. Into Windows, I know that it works. I think on Mac too. I don't know in Linux, I'm not sure. But let's take here the blue set, or yeah, the blue set, let's say. And we work into our paint here shader. So we will use all the textures that have paint here. Maybe not all of it, but almost. So the first thing we will do, we will use the paint base color, and for that we will just click and drag into the interface, and we will have our texture already ready to use here. What we will do is we will just plug the color into the base color, and as you can see here, we will have directly the result into the 3D view for all the objects that have the paint material on it. Okay, so good. And so here you see a different type of options here. For the first use, we will change nothing, never. But for the last one here, sometimes we will have to go into non-color data. For us here, we will use some colors because it's from color to have a base color here. So it's important to understand that when it's gray, you need black and white values here, and you will use here non-color data at that time. So we did plug here the base color to the base color, and that's it. We have the basic material into it. Now let's go ahead and continue, and let's add the metallic here, the paint metallic. We have it here, okay, and we can just click and drag from color to metallic over there, and it will give some metallic informations. And if now you turn around your model, you can see some differences already over there. But to make it even better, you have to go here and to use non-color data, and you can see that now it will be even better if you turn around your model. Okay, so important to understand that when you plug to a gray value here, it has to be a non-color data. It's a good way to understand it. Now let's continue, and we will plug our roughness. So here, where is the roughness? The paint roughness. We will put it there. Okay, this one a little above, click and drag. Okay, and then for the roughness, it will be more or less the same. I plug from color to roughness over there, but I will use again a non-color data, and it will give the right information here. Okay, then the last one that we plug for make a basic shader like that. Not the last one, because here we will have the emission to manage as well. So But let's add here the normal map first. So the normal map, it's a little different. As you can see, you see that here it's kind of other kind of informations. Here we have the gray, so it's black and white information. Here we have color, so it's color information. But for that one, it's a little different. For normal informations, what we will use, it's kind of vector information, so it's a little different. So we'll use here with Shift A another node to convert the image into a normal map. So something like that, the normal map, you plug the normal here, and here you just have to plug the color of your normal map here. So let's go there, okay, and we take the normal OpenGL. You can see the difference between the two here. So the difference between the two, it's this. The first one, you have only the textures that we did add with the hard surface tools in Substance Painter, and the second one, you have everything, even the little scratches, and it's this one that is far more interesting to use. So it's that one that we will use. So this one, you just click and drag here, and you plug from color to color, but it will not give the perfect information. Yes, you can see that there is something already, but yeah, it's not totally what we want over there. So what you can do, you just convert it here to non-color informations, and at that time it will give a perfect result. Okay, so we did create here a first basic one, and here, yeah, again we have an emission value that you have to understand too. And so let's go to our textures. You have a paint emissive here. You can just click and drag over there the paint emissive, put a color here, and you should have now the color and the beginning of an emission into that. If you want it, for me it's a little too low, and if you want it to be a little stronger, you just add some color into that. And for this, you just go to color, you go mix RGB, and what we'll do, we'll just add the color itself like that. Okay, so just with Control Shift click with the Node Wrangler editor, with the Node Wrangler add-on, you can just see what's happening to a node. Like for example, here I can click and Control Shift click, and I will have the informations of the paint metallic directly. Control Shift click, the roughness here. Control Shift click, only the color. Control Shift click here, only the normals. And Control Shift click, the emission. And after the emission, you can see that it's a little stronger after the add. So before, after, you can see that it's a little stronger. And after, depending on how much time you want to add it, maybe you can just duplicate with Shift D this node a few times and plug it just like that 3 times, should be okay. So in the beginning we had this, and in the end we have this that is far it's far better. We have more light, and now with Control Shift click I click on the last one and I should have all the mix of it. So here we have now our shader. It took a little time. Some they use sometimes, but it's not really mandatory to do that. But some they use here the ambient occlusion here, and the ambient occlusion, it will be something that we will add the black information of this. So you can see here we have kind of shadows that can be good to add into our shader. These shadows, I would like to add it to the color information over there. Okay, so I put my ambient occlusion on top, and I will add here with Shift A color mix RGB. I will just plug the first one over there and the second one over there, and it will not be a mix because I don't want a mix of the two. It will give something like this, not really interesting. If I go there, I have the first one. If I go there, I have the second one, but it's not really what I want. I want to add the dark informations into that one. Okay, so to make this, I just use here not a mix, but I will use here multiply. Where is it? Here. Okay, and now you can see that just with the cursor you can add more shadows like that. So maybe not something at 1 because it would be a little too much and too dark for some spaces, but let's say maybe 0.7 will be enough. And so now we should have something more interesting even more interesting into the render. It's not totally mandatory to do that, but it can be interesting to do it. And personally, I like to do it because it adds a little more realism to the shader, from my opinion. So that's it for this one. We did create, and yeah, another that is not mandatory, and usually I don't use it, it's the paint height that we have here. You can see that there is kind of height map, gives kind of information. You can plug it sometimes until here, and I will show you how it works into the next step. So okay, it's the way we could create manually a shader, and it's important to understand it, understand it well. So the 3 here are the color information. This one is the metallic, this one is the roughness. Okay, we have the emission that plugs the emission, and we have the normal map plugged to a normal node that goes to a normal here. So just remember that this 4 here needs to be into non-color data. This 3, sorry, metallic, roughness, and normal has to be into non-color data to work well. But let's say I would like to do it quicker, and I will just select everything here and remove all of that with X. Okay. What I will do, I will just select here this node, and with Ctrl-Shift-T, it will be a shortcut, and you have to enable Node Wrangler add-on to manage that. It will be a shortcut, and we can go here into the sets that we did export. Let's say I would like this time the camo set. Okay. And here I will select all the textures that I want, so from here to there with Shift key. Okay. And it will be the set that I would like to import, and just Node Wrangler add-on will do the rest and select what is good to go here and there. And yeah, you just do a principal texture setup, and that's it. You have all of this totally ready, and you can see that it works pretty well. You have nothing to do. Just after, you will have to add the emission yourself and the ambient occlusion yourself manually, but it goes far quicker than what we did before. You can see that here the displacement node here is plugged to the height is plugged to a displacement and goes into the displacement. But honestly, without and with, it doesn't make a crazy difference. So usually I don't use that. So I just remove this with X and remove this with X. Then after, I will just go by myself, search here the paint mixed AO, that I will just mix like I did before with a color mix RGB. Okay, this one to the second one, this one to the first one. Here, this one multiply at 1 or maybe 0.8, let's say, go there, and you will add a little more of shadows here. And after, we have the light just to add ourselves. So for this, we just go to search the texture, the paint emissive, and then this one is not a good one because I'm into the blue, so I remove that one. And yeah, I don't want the blue set for this one, I want the camo set, and like this I will have the right color into the paint. Okay, so let's say I would like to, with Shift A, mix it with the color mix RGB node that I will put into add this time because I want to add the white values, and I will just make it a few times just like that. 3 times should be enough. Okay, so this one to that one, this one to that one as well, and this one into the emission. And we should have now the light. And yeah, that's it. Nothing crazy there. These two nodes are not mandatory. It's just in case you want to change here the mapping, but just with our workflow, these nodes are not mandatory, but you can change the mapping with that. You can change from UV or change the scale of your UV if you need or whatever, but really in our case it's not important to have it. So that's it to create a shader for the paint shader. It's like that. What we can do, we can just make this in case before we save everything. We can just change the color and change the emission and have the possibility to plug it when we want, and like this we can change the textures. So what we can do, because for the rest it will not change for the rest, but just here, at least here, we will come back to the blue set, put back this one, okay? And now if we don't just want to change, we just put it here. Okay, and now it will be the blue, but it's still with the green light. So if we want to change the light as well, we will just go there and put the paint emissive over here. We will duplicate this node here. Put this two here, and like this, if I just change the emission, I will have a blue now. So just by changing here and there, I can change the global color of what I put here. And for example here, into this color texture, what can be good too, you can just add some changing into it if you want, just like a hue saturation here. And just by changing the hue, you will have the possibility to change the color, the global color of it if you want, okay? So from a blue to a red, let's say, like that. Maybe you will increase a little saturation, decrease a little the value, yeah, just to have something like that. And you can play a little with their settings like this. You can, yeah, or here you have kind of sandy texture, maybe more value on that, a little less saturation. Okay, just to have different kind of sets in one, you can just play with the hue saturation value. And in case you want to mute a node, you can just click on M and it will not be available. So after, that's why it's non-destructive. You just have to make M and it comes back just like that. Okay, so we will do the same for the shader metal there. So I will just select an object here, Canon metal, and then after I will have my node that is available here. I will just select the principal one only, so I deselect everything with A and then come back with this, and with Shift A, not Shift A, with Control Shift T to add a texture set. I will add this one, so from Canon until the last Canon here, and we are good. Principal texture setup, and Blender makes the rest, and we have our metal into our view now. Okay, so just what we will do exactly the same. We'll just add here again, if it's for the camo set here, we will just add here the Canon metal ambient occlusion over there, and the Canon metal emissive over there. Okay, and we will just make the same techniques that we did before with Shift A, a color mix RGB just over here and there, and with a multiply we will have already something a little better. And same over here, if we want the lights that appear here, we will just add Shift A, a color mix RGB again, so that this one it will be add, where is it, add, and just like this, like that, doing this a few times, just like so. With Shift D I can just duplicate the node, and then after just plug from this one to this one, and at last to that one, and you will have the lights that will be here. Okay, so this one, yeah, it was for the this one was for the camo set. So what I will do the same again. I will just duplicate these ones here. Okay, and search for the right one for the blue set. Okay, and it will be this one to this one. Okay, and in case you want the and for the camo set anyway, the metal doesn't change, the metal itself doesn't change, so it's good that we can just keep like that and can switch the colors of the metal over there, of the light over there. You can add here, for example, you can add here a hue saturation value just in case you want to change the color by yourself too. So, but most of it, that's it. How to create that. I will just remove the displacement, that for me it's useless. So I will save this document like that. I will save you this, and into the next video we will try to create a little studio to show a little your work to others, and to make a little animation on it.